Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for our e-Gurukula session. And today is Friday. We have a Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita study. So Srila Prabhupada's work is really been appreciated all over the world nowadays. People are realizing what a great contribution Srila Prabhupada has done for the whole world. So there is a very, very wonderful song written by His Holiness Jai Pataka Maharaj. Yadi Prabhupada na hoito, tabe ki hoito. That song says, if Prabhupada would have not been there, what would have been happened? World would have not known about who Krishna is, who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. World would have not known about the holy places like Vrindavan, Mathura, Jagannath Puri, Mayapur and Navadvip. How many of us we know Mayapur before coming to ISKCON? Yes. Anyone know? Anyone was knowing Mayapur before coming to ISKCON? Before coming to ISKCON, anyone had? Yeah, anyone? Jaisi Pro, Vishnu? Anyone was knowing Mayapur, about Mayapur?
No, Prabhuji.
Right? None of us we were knowing. So, yeah. Tomorrow we'll be playing a video, book reading time, that video. It's not for today, tomorrow. So that's what. So Srila Prabhupada came in all of our lives, and then he gave us these amazing gifts for us, the holy places, the holy people, the holy process, the holy prasadam, and made our lives completely holy. That's what it's important to understand, who Srila Prabhupada is and what a great work he has done for all of us. And thanks to His Holiness Satswarup Das Maharaj, who has written so meticulously about the detailed life of Srila Prabhupada, right from the birth and then till the time he's here in the planet. So let us dive into this amazing work and then understand the Srila Prabhupada's life. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanutam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurattvashe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Garbhatarubhisha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So anyone remember what's going on? Where we have what we are reading about Srila Prabhupada's life, Lilamrit and Lilamrit? What section is going on about Prabhupada's life? Long ago. 1 week is over. Who remember? Yesterday we are reading from Krishna book. Lord Krishna learned in 1 day and mastered the subject. End of the day. But for us, 1 week is over. People glorifying Srila Prabhupada, Dr. Mitra, yeah, very nice, very good. Rishitru remembered some parts, good. Okay, so that is about Srila Prabhupada's life in Jhansi. Okay, Srila Prabhupada goes to Jhansi, and then Dr. Mitra, not Dr. Mitra, yeah, he is a doctor, right? No, Mr. Mitra. He was a steel shop. He had a steel shop. Dr. Shastri, then Mr. Mitra, who was having a stainless steel shop. that we read last week, and how Prabhupada was urging. Now let's see what happened further. You all are able to see the screen? Is the screen is visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you. So let me, Once Mr. Mitra offered Abhay a copy of his book, showing him the foreword by a famous man, and repeatedly mentioned that the great sadhu Vinoba Bhave had liked the poems very much. When Mr. Mitra learned that Abhay was a regular milk drinker, he began offering Abhay fresh milk daily from his cow, a black cow, and a black cows, Mr. Mitra said, gave especially good milk. Abhay invited Mr. Mitra to accompany him on a foot to nearby villages along with a kirtan party for preaching. But Mr. Mitra declined, being unable to get anyone to tend the shop for him. So Prabhupada used to go for nearby villages and all, but he could not help Prabhupada that way. Another young Ayurvedic doctor was Dr. Siddhi, who immediately expressed interest in Abhay's enthusiastic plans for spreading Krishna consciousness. Right, so we read about Dr. Shastri, then Mr. Mitra, and now this is about here we read about Dr. Shastri, Mr. Mitra. This is Dr. Siddhi. Dr. Siddhi. Now he says, okay, he came several times to my place. Who came? Who came to whose place? He came several. Yeah. Here it is written, he came several times to my place. Who came to whose place? Yeah, who came to whose place? What is written here? Yeah, you can unmute and say, I'm not getting what is your answer for this chat here. Yeah.
Project Prabhupada came to Dr. Siddhi.
Yes. So now this in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, any person gives a dialogue or a comment about Srila Prabhupada or in general, they're all written in italic, okay? So this is a normal font, but here you see it becomes italic font, the kind of a style, angled. So you can note. So this is being spoken by Dr. Siddhi when he was interviewed about Srila Prabhupada's life. So what he says, that he came several times to my place, Srila Prabhupada. I have got a kirtan room on my roof, and he performed kirtan there as well as at the Gita Mandir. We were also going daily to the Theosophical Society. There was an atmosphere, a very pious, sacred, and a calm atmosphere when the kirtan and preaching and lectures were performed. He used to play harmonium. Jai. Srila Prabhupada used to play harmonium. We accompanied him for meeting people and preaching his mission. The main thing was to perform kirtan and give a lecture on the Bhagavad Gita and the life of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was his Lord, and I also loved him. So you see, he was impressed with the Srila Prabhupada's, and he also understood how Srila Prabhupada is purely following Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radhelal Mullik, secretary of the Gita Mandir and Sadhana Mandir, began meeting often with Abhay. Radhelal Mullik says, I was very much influenced by him. I used to spend 3 or 4 hours every morning in his association. He had many big scriptures. He was mainly concerned about the books about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was also writing at that time. The president of the Gita Mandir and I both volunteered to cook for him. Hari bol. So they served Srila Prabhupada. Very nice. So let's read. It was during a morning walk with Radhalal Mullik that Abhay first spotted the Bharati Bhavan, a picturesque temple complex across the large Antiya pond. The neighborhood known as Antiyatal was quiet and sparsely populated, but it was near a Sipri road. Oh, yeah. So now you'll see here how Prabhupada plans for something great. Antiyatal was quiet and sparsely populated, but it was near Sipri Road, the main thoroughfare between downtown Jaisi and Sipri Bazaar. So it's kind of a connecting place for the main markets, that what spot Prabhupada saw. Abhay inquired from Mr. Mullik about the temple, and together they turned from the main road and walked down a sloping footpath that led through the main gates of the compound. There they found several secluded acres nestled within a grove of neem and mango trees. The main structure was the Radha Memorial. It was small like a chapel, but its proportions were stout and bold. So it was like kind of a small house. Sitting on an octagonal stone base, it rose on 8 ornate pillars of red and white chipped marble to a stone dome on top. 2 elephants bearing the goddess of fortune Lakshmi on their upraised trunks decorated the entrance. So you just imagine Maharaj traveled to these places and then he noted down what are the places, how it was and things, everything. Concrete bunting and stripe and patterns of red, green, and blue added to the decorative yet massive effect. The entrance was marked with the words Radha Smarak carved in Hindi script, and above it the English translation Radha Memorial. So this was a hall Srila Prabhupada noticed in that area. When Abhay saw the Sanskrit inscription across the side of the stone temple, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It was written there on the stone. He turned to Radhalal Malik and said strongly, "The Lord has built this temple for my use." Who is telling this? The Lord has built this temple for my use. Who is telling this?
Prabhupada.
Yeah, Prabhupada is telling, you see. So this is very amazing thing, how Prabhupada look for the opportunities, whatever way it came. So it was written on the stone there, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. From that moment, Abhay was determined to have the building. So Prabhupada thought that let me have this building now to start something for the people, programs, our center kind of thing. Mr. Mullik explained that the temple had been built in 1939 as a memorial to the wealthy Vaishnava landlord Radhabhai, but at the present was not in use. Dr. Prabhakar Mishra, whom Abhay had already met on several occasions, was occupying some of the rooms, but otherwise it was deserted. Deserted means it was like a leftover, empty. Nobody's using that place. Mr. Mullik and Abhay sought Dr. Mishra in his quarters in the main building, and when Dr. Mishra saw Abhay's enthusiasm, he invited Abhay to stay there with him. Dr. Mishra confirmed that except for his Sunday morning Gita class, the facility was sitting idle, and he welcomed Abhay to carry on his writing and preaching there. So Abhay liked the idea. Immediately began thinking of the uses for the buildings, serving the land with increasing interest. A second larger building with also the stone pillars and facades held a hall and 5 rooms. Abhay made mental plans for each room. See, this is a beauty, right? As soon as the vision of the pure devotees, the devotees of the Lord, and vision of the non-devotees of the Lord, we can see the difference. Now just imagine how just try to understand, okay, how Abhay is looking this place. Abhay made a mental plan for each room. In this room, kirtanas and lectures with large gathering. In this room, the deity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In these rooms, the resident brahmacharis and sannyasis, guests will be here, an office will be there, and the printing press is here. Now imagine if this place is being observed by the non-devotees. How they will see this place for? Any guess? how for what purpose they will see
No,
this?
Prabhuji, they'll see it as useless area, Prabhuji, or like
Yeah,
doing their work, or else doing some bad things like drinking alcohol and doing
yeah,
their all those.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, generally they will look for some business or some profit purpose, something comes for them, yeah, to build the factories, or Jashit is writing. Right, or some kind of a scenic place, or otherwise our Sri Karpur is telling they will do some wrong habits there because it is a secluded place so nobody can see. Believe me, these things are happening nowadays. We are here at Govardhan, just next to Kusum Sarovar. Very holy place, such a beautiful place, and very, very holy. Lord Krishna performed many amazing episodes. But unfortunately, not knowing the importance of the place, people come and they just click the photos, or I mean, even some people I saw, even they do smoking and other things. It's a very wrong thing actually, doing in such holy place. But then you see the Srila Prabhupada's vision, even the places or the people also. Previously, we saw how he was dealing with the people. For every people, he was asking for opportunity to help. We'll go all over the world and we'll preach the message of Bhagavad Gita. The world is awaiting for us. All of you remember last week we read, right? Srila Prabhupada is telling the world is awaiting for us, Dr. Mishra. We'll go. And then he saw this hall also. He found this room and how he has made a plan immediately. Oh, the Lord Chaitanya's deity can be here. The guest house can be here. The resident brahmacharis and sannyasis can stay here. And then the kirtanas and the programs can go here. And the printing press can be here because his guru has ordered him to print the books. So everything they see in connection with Krishna. So we should also learn something best, how we can use in the service of the Lord. So what is there in the mind, accordingly we'll see the world. Right. So you heard the example, you know that formula, the GIGO, GIGO. All of you heard that? Many times we shared also, right? Yeah. What is that?
Prabhuji, good in, good out, garbage in, garbage out, Prabhuji.
Correct. Yeah. So if you
Prabhuji,
give a
there's
good things
also
in,
like a fighting universe like that, said Prabhuji. We say it
yes,
as G.I. Joe, Prabhuji.
yeah. So if you give a good things to our input, then naturally the output will also come very good. But if the bad input is given, like a garbage things are given, then the garbage output will come. So Prabhupada's mind and heart was fully filled with the instruction of his spiritual master. And that was his input all the time, meditation, how best I can serve. That's what he was looking also for, the opportunity to go for preaching purpose. He wanted to just go. And then that's what he now came to Jaisi for that purpose. So that's what he was able to see. There was even land for grazing a cow. It was a self-contained unit. Self-contained means it can no need to depend on any other things. The land is there, we can till the paddies, and then the cows are there, we can have the milk, and then the halls and water and everything is there. Hundreds of people could come here for kirtan, prasadam, and discourses. Preachers could go out from here distributing back to Godhead magazines. Some could even go abroad with Lord Chaitanya's message. So full-fledged plan Prabhupada is making. As Abhay and his companies walked through the compound, companions, they walked through the compound, appreciating it as a suitable place to start an ashrama, his companions encouraged him, saying they were sure that Mr. Rev Shankar Bhayal, the agent who handled all the properties of Radhabai's descendants, would have no objection to Abhay's living there. Why could not the landlord give him the buildings? Abhay asked. They were simply going to waste. If it were actually to be a memorial to Radha, it should be used in Krishna's service. Since Krishna is Radha's worshipable Lord, Rigol. It was a Radha memorial, right? So of course, people don't understand that. They just see the title, or it might be that man's name, Radha, that person. But Prabhupada knows, Prabhupada understands. The whole world is an offering for Lord Krishna. So what is this small palace, this small house? If it is really Radha's memorial, then this should be offered for Krishna service. Abhay was determined and his friends agreed to help him. First, they met with Ram Mitra, who said that he was such a close friend of Mr. Bhayal that Mr. Bhayal would probably give the place simply at his request. Dr. Shastri said that he also wanted to go to impress upon Mr. Bhayal how much the people of Jhansi wanted Abhay to have this place. When Rev Shankar Bhayal met with his friend Ram Mitra, also present were Abhay, Dr. Shastri, Radhilal Mullik, Prabhakar Mishra, and Suryamukhi Sharma, a young educated Jhansi woman. They presented case from several angles and Mr. Bhayal listened. He agreed that he wasn't using the place at present and this seemed to be a good cause. He agreed to let Abhay use the facilities for his League of Devotees for as long as he liked, and at Abhay's request, he agreed to become a member of the League. They shook hands. On behalf of the estate, Mr. Bhayal presented the Bharati Bhavan properties in charity to Abhay Charan Day and the League of Devotees. That's why this chapter name is what? Jaisi, the League of Devotees. This is chapter 7 in the volume 1. And that's what this was the first step of Srila Prabhupada's preaching, which physically getting manifested. Previously, Abhay tried so many ways, and now something structure is coming up. During December and January, Abhay prepared a League of Devotees charter. Charter means kind of a catalog, what structure should be and how it should be functioning and everything. He wanted to begin vigorous, extensive preaching, following the example of his spiritual master. Once he began to set his goals to paper, the project immediately began to expand beyond Jhansi, beyond India. So Prabhupada used to say, I have one problem. I don't think anything less. I always think something big. So beyond Jhansi, beyond India. So although the place is here, so that's the beauty actually. Abhay has this desire, Prabhupada has desire, and Krishna reciprocated. So nothing is difficult. If we really plan, if we really wish to do, Lord will give us very, very beautifully to go on. Yeah. Once, of course, the League of Devotees was for the young people of Jhansi. They were already expressing the great interest. But Abhay's charter described more than merely evening classes and kirtan. So people were thinking, oh, this is a nice place for kirtana and things and all, but there is something more also. Prabhupada has planned even something more bigger things. So can someone just confirm what is the time? Here my clock got checked. Clock is not moving. What is the exact time?
7:57, Prabhuji.
7:57. Okay. So more 3 minutes we have. Yeah. It was a broad scheme, including a description of the 4 orders of the society, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and detailed plans to accommodate a worldwide religious movement. The charter set forth a probationary period for prospective members. It described spiritual initiation. It arranged for economic reciprocation between individual members and the League. It arranged to provide a lodging for preachers, and it defined prohibited activities, illegitimate connection with women, intoxicating habits, diets other than regulated strictly on a vegetable kingdom, gambling, and unnecessary sporting or recreation enterprises. So for what purpose this place should be used, and who will be living, how it will be functioning, right? Economically, how this will happen with for the members and for the organization. and how the people will go out and preach for all the four varnas and ashramas: brahmachari, kshatriya, vaishya, and shudra. Brahmana, kshatriya, brahmachari, sannyasi, grihastha, vanprastha. For everything, Prabhupada made a full plan. To establish his league with the register in Lucknow, Abhay required a memorandum of association. So, signed by the league members. In this document, हो गया bro, 2 minutes. In this document, which was to list the objectives of the society, Abhay expressed his vision for the continuation of his spiritual master's mission. Like his god brothers, who had created a new mathas after the dissolution of the Gaudiya Math, Abhay was forming a new branch of the Gaudiya Sampradaya to be called the League of Devotees. He was not simply claiming proprietorship of few buildings. He was establishing a Krishna conscious society that would expand into a world movement. See, Jaisi is such a small town, but Prabhupada's vision is catching the entire world. His intentions were clearly not insular, but were directed towards creating centers for spiritual development all over the world. Abhay wrote, Lord Chaitanya revealed the transcendental process of approaching the absolute Godhead. Yeah, this is Prabhupada's writing, okay? So absolute Godhead is a capital. And in his teachings, nothing appeared to be absurd from the point of human reasoning and nothing against any religion as accepted by the human and civilized world. So means basically Prabhupada is emphasizing that every religion person, it doesn't matter whether Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whoever he may be or she may be, right? Everyone can accept the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In enumerating the league's goals, he included the opening of centers in all parts of the world, thus establishing the league as an international organization for spiritual developments through education, culture, as also by recruiting the members from all nations, creeds, and castes. Right? So, international organization. The league would publish literature in many languages and print a monthly Back to Godhead. So, when Prabhupada reached to America, so he was alone sitting on a park, sitting on a bench in a park. And there the one person came and saw Abhay sitting alone and things like that. So that person, he asked Abhay, that person asked Prabhupada, that time now in America, he was Prabhupada, sannyas. So he asked, who are you? And then Prabhupada says, I'm a founder of society. And then he asked, this society is for how many members are there in your society? Prabhupada said there are 10,000 members. This is just in 1965-66 when Prabhupada reached America. Prabhupada says we have all over world branches of our society and we have 10,000 members. Right? Where Prabhupada has nobody till now, but Prabhupada has envisioned to that level. So this is called as a visionary, right? Who can see the things and then plan out for the entire society very, very nicely. And that's what Srila Prabhupada saw and Srila Prabhupada made. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this movement will go for 10,000 years. All of you heard about this? Next 10,000 years, the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be there. After which Kali Yuga will become so rampant. Now also it's becoming so much. But after 10,000 years, it's nothing. So Srila Prabhupada made such a perfect way so that for all the generations to come, it will be very, very useful and supportive and giving them the aim of their life, taking them back home, back to Godhead. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So you can remember this. This was a very, very first historic work Srila Prabhupada started with, the League of Devotees. That's why the chapter name is Jaisi, the League of Devotees. And how Srila Prabhupada was so visionary. So people were thinking, oh nice, we'll have a kirtan and class and that's all. No, but Prabhupada wanted to work out for the entire world, go out and preach. Thank you very much for joining and giving your association. Let us end with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yes.
Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.